What happens when Samsung's flagship 11-channel soundbar with 23 individual drivers goes head-to-head with Sony's completely reimagined 4-speaker wireless home theater system? You get one of the most genuinely interesting audio matchups of 2026, and the winner might surprise you more than you expect. One of these systems costs $900 less than the other. One includes a subwoofer. One lets you place speakers literally anywhere in the room. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which one is the smarter buy for your specific setup. Before we get into it, drop a comment below telling me whether you are a Samsung or Sony household right now, and what your current audio setup looks like. I read every comment. And if flagship audio comparisons like this help you make smarter decisions, hit subscribe and leave a like. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Two systems, two completely different ideas. Before we get into specific comparisons, let us understand what each of these systems is actually trying to achieve, because the philosophy behind each one shapes every other aspect of this matchup. The Samsung HW-Q990F is a traditional flagship soundbar concept executed at the highest possible level. It is an 11-channel system with 23 individual drivers spread across the soundbar body, a wireless subwoofer, and wireless rear satellite speakers. Samsung's goal is to deliver the most complete, most powerful, and most effortless home theater experience, from a system that requires almost no difficult setup decisions from the buyer. You unbox it, connect it, run SpaceFit Sound Pro calibration, and you have one of the most capable audio systems on the market, ready to go within minutes. It is currently priced at $1,599, down from an original price of $1,999, which already makes it a strong value proposition at the flagship tier. The Sony Bravia Theater Quad is something fundamentally and deliberately different. Instead of a soundbar, you get 4 individual wireless speaker units that can be positioned anywhere in your room, on shelves, mounted on walls, placed in corners, set on stands, wherever makes the most acoustic sense for your specific space and furniture layout. Those 4 speakers use Sony's 360 spatial sound mapping technology to generate a wide, adaptive, room-filling sound field from just 4 physical sources. The total system output is 504 watts across 16 drivers, and it supports Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, and IMAX Enhanced. The asking price is $2,499 at full retail, though it has been available at $2,199 on sale. Critically, the Sony does not include a subwoofer. The optional SA-SW5 and SA-SW3 subwoofers are separate additional purchases at extra cost. So right from the start, the Samsung costs significantly less and comes with everything included in the box. Whether that translates to a better overall system depends entirely on what you value most in a home theater experience. Bass and low-end performance, a clear winner. Let us address the subwoofer situation directly, because it is the most practically significant difference between these two systems, and it affects how they feel in the room every single day you use them. The Samsung HW-Q990F includes a wireless subwoofer with dual 8-inch sealed drivers, delivering 300 watts dedicated entirely to bass reproduction. That is serious, physically impactful, room-filling low-end that arrives included in the purchase price without any additional decision required. You connect it, it pairs automatically, and from the very first day, every film, every music session, and every streaming night has proper bass weight behind it. Explosions feel physical. Deep film scores have real presence and chest-level impact. The subwoofer is simply there, performing its job consistently, without any additional financial consideration required. The Sony Bravia Theater Quad does not include a subwoofer. The system's 4 wireless speakers handle the full frequency range including bass, and while they do a creditable job for a configuration with no dedicated bass driver, they cannot replicate the physical impact and low-frequency extension that a proper sealed subwoofer delivers. To get comparable bass performance from the Sony setup, you need to separately purchase either the SA-SW3 at 200 watts or the more powerful SA-SW5 at 300 watts. That is a significant additional cost on top of an already premium price that pushes the total Sony system investment substantially higher than the Samsung package when calculated honestly. For the vast majority of buyers, the Samsung wins the base comparison decisively, both on raw performance and on real-world value, since the subwoofer arrives included rather than being a separate purchase that the marketing materials quietly omit. Soundstage and spatial performance. Sony's strongest argument. This is where the Sony Bravia Theater Quad makes its most compelling and genuinely impressive case, and it deserves serious consideration rather than being dismissed. The Samsung HW-Q990F uses a fixed physical configuration. The soundbar sits in front of the television, the wireless rear speakers sit behind the listening position, and the subwoofer is positioned somewhere on the floor. That layout is well executed, and SpaceFit Sound Pro does an impressive job of automatically calibrating the system for your room. But the physical speaker positions are largely determined by furniture placement and room architecture, rather than by optimal acoustic positioning for your specific listening environment. The Sony Bravia Theater Quad gives you 4 wireless speakers that you can position anywhere in the room without constraints. If the optimal acoustic position for a rear speaker is a specific shelf height on a sidewall rather than directly behind you, you can put it exactly there. Sony's 360 spatial sound mapping then takes those 4 physical speakers and generates up to 12 phantom audio channels, continuously adapting the sound field to match the acoustic character of your specific room. In a thoughtfully arranged space, the result is an unusually open and 3-dimensional sound field that feels less like a speaker system and more like audio genuinely existing in the air around you. For Sony Bravia television owners, a feature called Acoustic Center Sync adds another layer to this advantage. A compatible Sony television like the Sony Bravia 8.2 OLED uses its own built-in speakers as the center channel within the Theater Quad system, creating a more physically grounded dialogue source directly at screen level. Samsung matches this with Q-Symphony on compatible televisions like the Samsung S95F OLED and the Samsung Q990H Neo QLED, allowing the TV speakers to combine with the HW-Q990F for a wider total sound field. Both ecosystem integrations are genuinely valuable, but they only apply when you are within the matching brand family. Features, connectivity, and ecosystem. Both systems are well equipped with modern features, though their strengths align with different use cases. The Samsung HW-Q990F includes 2 HDMI 2.1 ports with 4K at 120 frames per second pass-through, making it a strong choice for next-generation gaming alongside its home theater duties. For households that game seriously on a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X and also want premium audio for films, the Samsung covers both requirements from a single connected system without compromise. The Sony Bravia Theater Quad supports Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, and IMAX Enhanced, a broader audio format set than the Samsung, and includes Voice Zoom 3 for enhanced dialogue clarity in any listening environment. Pairing it with a Sony Bravia 8.2 OLED via Acoustic Center Sync produces the most cohesive and integrated Sony ecosystem experience. For buyers using other televisions like the LG C5 OLED, the LG G5 OLED Evo, or the Hisense U9K Infinity Mini LED, the Theater Quad functions well as a standalone audio system, though the Acoustic Center Sync ecosystem benefit naturally does not apply. The shocking winner, and why? Here is the verdict that genuinely surprised people when this comparison was first laid out clearly. For the overwhelming majority of buyers, The Samsung HW-Q990F is the better purchase, and the margin of advantage is wider than most people going into this matchup would predict. The Samsung arrives $900 less expensive at standard pricing, yet includes a dual 8-inch subwoofer that the Sony requires a significant additional purchase to match. It delivers 11 channels from 23 drivers with proven, effortless performance that requires no complex speaker positioning decisions. The HDMI 2.1 gaming support is a practical advantage for many households, and Q-Symphony integration adds real value for Samsung television owners. The Sony Bravia Theater Quad is a remarkable and genuinely innovative product, and its advantages, freely customizable speaker placement, the potential for an unusually wide and adaptive soundstage, and broader format support including IMAX Enhanced, are real. But realizing those advantages requires more investment, more deliberate setup, and more total spending once the subwoofer cost is honestly factored into the comparison. For audio enthusiasts who value placement flexibility above all else, already own a compatible Sony Bravia television, and are prepared to invest in the optional subwoofer, the Theater Quad makes a compelling case for the right buyer. For everyone else, and that is most people, the Samsung HW-Q990F delivers more bass, more convenience, more value, and a more immediately satisfying home theater experience for significantly less money. That is the shocking part. The cheaper system wins. That is the complete breakdown. Samsung HW-Q990F versus Sony Bravia Theater Quad, and the winner that caught most people off guard. Drop a comment below telling me which system you are leaning toward and what your room setup looks like. Hit like if this comparison helped you make a clearer decision. Subscribe so you do not miss the next head-to-head, and I will see you in the next video.